The Miami Dolphins are staring down a season-defining stretch. We're talking about the kind of stretch that decides whether the playoff dreams we've been holding onto all season are still alive, or if they slip right through our fingers. At least there's a glimmer of good news in the middle of this do-or-die pressure cooker. One of Miami's most critical defensive assets, Zach Sieler, might finally be ready to suit up again. Head coach Mike Mcdaniel gave us all something to cling to this week when he mentioned he's optimistic that Sieler, who's been dealing with an eye injury, could make his return in Week 10 against the Los Angeles Rams. Sieler's been on the sidelines for 2 games now, and man, has his absence been felt on that defense. He went down in practice, a freak accident before Week 8 against the Arizona Cardinals. It wasn't supposed to be that big of a deal, just an unlucky hit in practice. But here we are, 2 games without him, and his absence has been a huge factor in Miami's struggles. Sieler's value isn't just stats, he's one of those glue guys on the line. He's consistently in there, grinding, plugging up holes, and giving running backs a nightmare of a time. Every team needs a guy like that. When he's on the field, the energy shifts. He's aggressive, he's disruptive, and he's a major reason opposing offenses have to second-guess any ground game plans. Without him, Miami's front has just felt less complete. That run defense that Sieler helps anchor suddenly looks exposed, vulnerable. Opponents are taking advantage, exploiting the gaps where he'd usually be. It's like a part of the defensive heartbeat is missing, and that's hurt the Dolphins in ways we probably underestimated. Let's not forget what's at stake here. We're on the brink. If there was ever a time Miami needed every piece of its defensive puzzle, it's now. Playoffs don't happen by accident, and without Sieler on that line, making those small but critical plays, Miami's road to January football starts looking bleak. But there's hope. If McDaniel's words are anything to go by, we might see Sieler back in action against the Rams, and that could be the break we need to get things back on track. The Rams game isn't just another matchup on the schedule, it's going to test every part of the Dolphins squad. The stakes are sky high. Miami doesn't have room to mess around, and if Sieler can return, even at something less than 100%, it's a massive morale boost. McDaniel's optimism is one thing, but what we're hoping for, what we need, is that Sieler shows up ready to make an impact. He's got that gritty, resilient play style that Miami's defense feeds off. Seeing him back in the lineup might just reignite the spark we've been missing these past couple of games. Think about what Sieler brings. He's not the flashiest guy, but he's a workhorse. Sieler's out there breaking down blockers, clogging lanes, and making it tough for anyone to get a clean run. We've seen him pull off stops that leave opponents frustrated. That's not something you just replace. Miami's defensive line has had its moments, but Sieler brings a level of stability and reliability that isn't easily duplicated. When he's not out there, you feel the difference. So, having him back could make all the difference in Miami's ability to contain an opponent like the Rams, who'll be looking for every opening. And let's not kid ourselves, the pressure on Miami is intense. The Dolphins are teetering on the edge here, and they know it. Each game from here on out has that win-or-go-home weight to it, and the Rams game is no exception. McDaniel has hinted at changes, adjustments, everything they can do to keep the playoff dreams alive. But even the best strategies sometimes need that one player, that missing link, to make it all work. Sieler could be that guy. His return means Miami can go back to doing what they do best, pressuring the quarterback, stopping the run, and forcing opponents to play on Miami's terms. We've seen flashes of brilliance from this defense, but without Sieler, those flashes don't seem to have the same punch. With him potentially back in the lineup, we're talking about a different ballgame. Sieler's presence isn't just about stats or tackles, it's about attitude, grit, and the sense of security he gives to the rest of the squad. Every team has that player who just changes the energy when he's on the field. For Miami, Sieler is that guy, and his return could be the spark that turns a shaky stretch into a late-season rally.